Hello, bonjour, welcome everyone. My name is Katie Gray. I'm the project manager here at the World Trade Center Winnipeg. I would like to begin today by respectfully acknowledging that this webinar is coming to you from Treaty 1 territory, traditional territory of the Anishinaabe, Cree, Oji-Cree, Dakota, and Dene peoples, and on the national homeland of the Red River Métis. So thank you all for joining our Introduction to Market Research webinar, which will be presented by Matilda van Aggelen. Matilda has 4 years of experience in business development, customer service, and training. She holds a project management diploma and a management certificate from the University of Winnipeg Professional, Applied, and Continuing Learning Education. Please enjoy the webinar.
Thank you so much, Katie, for the introduction, and welcome to everyone for today's webinar, An Introduction to Market Research. As Katie mentioned, my name is Matilda van Aggelen, and I am a market research specialist at the World Trade Center Winnipeg. So this means that I help my colleagues, my business advisors and trade advisors to assist businesses with market research, whether they are just starting up a business, they're growing, or they're looking at expanding internationally. So what are we going to discuss today? The following questions. What is market research? How will this benefit your business? When will you be conducting market research? What types of information will you be searching for? Where can you find this? And who can help you with your research? First things first, what exactly is market research? I have borrowed this beautiful definition from our colleagues at BDC. Market research is the process of gathering and analyzing information about customers, competitors, and emerging trends that helps companies make strategic planning decisions about marketing and selling their products and services. So at the World Trade Center Winnipeg, we focus on secondary market research. That is what we can provide to our clients, and that will be the focus of today's webinar as well. But just to give you an idea, I want to make the distinction between these two main types of market research, primary and secondary. So primary market research is the process of collecting information directly from people in your target market. And this can take many different forms. It could be, for example, through interviews, focus groups, surveys, or observation of people purchasing goods or services. And often this is done with the help of external market research experts. Now, secondary market research, what we focus on, is collecting published information about your target market, information that already exists and that is already publicly accessible. So how will you do that? That will be the focus of the next few slides, where we will go into some different categories of information. And most of the time, this research is done internally. So if you are an entrepreneur on the call and you're looking to start a business, you will be performing this research. But of course, our team at the World Trade Center Winnipeg will also be available to assist. Now, why is market research important? Market research will help you to validate your business idea. You want to make sure that your venture is based on data that shows that there's a need for it. And when you look at that data, you will also be able to identify the exact opportunities to get a clear idea of who your target customers are, what exactly they need, and how you can set yourself apart from your competitors. Your research will also help you to mitigate risk. When you know the challenges and the trends in your industry and how they might affect your business, then you will have a good idea of some risks that might come on your path. And when you are aware of a risk, that then becomes a risk that you can manage. So knowing the demand for your business venture, where exactly the opportunities lie, where the risks lie, you will be able to tell a very coherent and logical story in your business plan that also tells your audience and your potential funders that you have done your homework, you've done your research. So now that we are sold on the concept of market research, how does it work? When will you do this? As already mentioned, you'll be doing your research when you're evaluating your business idea and then when you're preparing your business plan. But really, market research is ongoing. You want to keep your finger on the pulse of your industry to know the opportunities, to know the risks, and how you can meet them. So, what types of information will you be searching for, and where can you find this? Generally, as mentioned in the definition that we started the presentation with, there are three main types of market information that you will be searching for as an entrepreneur. So that's customers, competitors, and trends. In the next few slides, I'll go through each of these groups and I'll give you some examples of where you might find this type of information. The first thing, uh, the first step in your market research journey is understanding your target customers. If you are going to sell to businesses, you'll want to ask yourself, what types of businesses have a need for my product or service? And who will be the end users? If you are selling to consumers, you'll ask yourself, who has a need for my product or service? And what do I know about them? Regardless of who you're selling to understand your target customers, you'll be asking the following questions. So, who has a need for the product or service? What exactly do they want and need? Where do they purchase products or services? And how do they purchase them? You will find your answers most likely in the form of industry reports, industry statistics, surveys, and articles. And there are a lot of resources online that you can search to find this information. I've highlighted some of the most common ones here. So, industry associations, for example, can be provincial, can be national. These may conduct member surveys and publish the results. Government departments may publish reports where you can read more about the challenges that certain industries are facing. Government departments will also publish information on demographics within their region. Trade publications are online news sources that publish articles specifically for people working in a specific industry or interested in this industry. You can find a wealth of information in those publications as well. Now, a lot of companies that offer consulting services, think, for example, PwC or Deloitte, they will also publish very interesting reports on industries and some of the challenges and trends that they're observing. Or they might also publish very exhaustive consumer surveys. Market research companies, that seems self-explanatory, but you will find that with the larger market research companies, they will have outstanding resources that you can purchase for hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But it's definitely worth looking at these businesses to see what they publish for free, because they might have some very interesting reports out there that will give you some information on your market. Statistics Canada has a lot of information, both on the business side and on the consumer side. I'll be showing a few examples of that later as well. Nonprofit organizations is a broad category. In the Manitoba context, that could be organizations like newcomer serving associations or Economic Development Winnipeg or the various business improvement zones, such as the Downtown Biz. And then, of course, there's the media. You have your traditional media, newspapers, magazines, and then there's also social media, such as LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, etc. Now, let's go into a few examples of resources that can help you understand your target customers. This one is from Statistics Canada. They do a survey every quarter where they survey businesses across Canada and ask them about some of the obstacles they're facing and their outlook for the next few months. And here you can find a lot of good information um, broken down, for example, by province here or by industry or business characteristics. In terms of industry, you will see that this follows the North American Industry Classification System. So let's say, for example, you want to provide consulting services for businesses. A resource like this can show you a lot about the obstacles that businesses are facing and what types of businesses say they are most affected by this. My next example is more on the consumer side. So let's say you want to sell specialty coffee directly to consumers. Then you can go search for any associations that might have some interesting information for you. And this is an example of the Canadian Coffee Association, which commissions studies every year to look at Canadian coffee drinkers and their preferences and their habits. So these reports would give you great information on Canadian consumers. Now, of course, when you understand your target customers, you also need to find them. So you'll ask yourself, how many potential customers are there in my market and where are they located? You will find these answers mostly in industry reports, industry statistics, but also in company directories and demographic statistics and maps that will show you for the people in your target market demographic characteristics such as age, gender, employment, family structure, etc. And when you look at this list of sources, you'll see some of the usual suspects that we already discussed. But I also want to highlight chambers of commerce here because local chambers of commerce often have a directory of local businesses. Here's another example from Statistics Canada. They have a table of Canadian business counts where you can go search by geography. That can be for all of Canada, or it can be by province, or even by census metropolitan area. How many businesses are there within a certain industry? And how many businesses are there by number of employees? So let's say, for example, you have developed software, new type of software for construction project management. You've done your homework, you know roughly what types of businesses show the highest demand for that in terms of business size and industry. So now you can have a look at this table and see where are these businesses located? How many of them are there? And this is also useful down the road if maybe you're looking at expanding across Canada. Another great example, this time from the government side, Manitoba Agriculture and Resource Development has a great section of directories available. So let's say you want to provide consulting services for businesses in the food industry. This will be an excellent place for you to start and peruse these directories of dozens of businesses. An example on the consumer side, Economic Development Winnipeg has a data portal with some very beautiful tools, interactive tools. So, this one, for example, will show you where consumers are located in the city, and you can use these filters to filter for income, age, and household type. So let's say you want to open a specialized boutique and you've done your research, you know the age range and income range of your target customers, then this map can help you find out where they are located. So now that you understand your target customers, of course, you also need to look at your competitors. And to really understand them, you'll be asking the following questions. Which types of businesses are already providing similar products or services? How do they sell them? And what are their strengths and challenges? You will find these answers in industry reports and statistics, but also in articles and reviews. And you can find a lot of this information in the types of resources that we discussed earlier. I also want to highlight here the importance of reviews. You will find a lot of reviews, of course, on social media and on Google and sites such as Yelp. This can give you a good idea of some of the challenges that your competitors might have. Here is an example of a beautiful resource provided by a nonprofit organization. Food Matters Manitoba has a map of where to buy traditional foods in Winnipeg. This map has been very useful for me personally as well. It's a great resource. So let's say you want to start a European style food market. A map like this will show you other businesses in the city that sell European foods and what types of foods they offer. So this can be a great starting point for your competitor analysis to see what types are being offered and where might there be a gap that my business might be able to fit in. Another example, this time from company offering consulting services, PwC Canada publishes reports on various industries. This one, for example, is about the health tech industry, so innovative technologies that will benefit healthcare. They have mapped out interesting businesses across Canada that are working in this sphere, and they've also added a summary of kind of their competencies and what types of trends they are reacting to, and what all is happening in the industry. So this can be a great starting point too if you're starting a health tech company and you're looking to understand what your competitors do and within what landscape they are operating, what are the opportunities and challenges. Of course, same thing as with your target customers. Once you understand your competitors, the next step will be to locate them. So you will ask yourself how many potential competitors are there in my market and where are they located. You will find a lot of this information in industry reports and industry statistics, but also in company directories and maps of companies. So you can find this information through a variety of organizations and associations, or you can opt for the nostalgic way of going to your local public library. A few examples. Let's say you're looking to start a bakery, then you can go to some company directories. For example, this one by the West End Biz that will show you where are the bakeries located in the West End and how many are there. There are lots of similar directories out there that can help you on your journey. Another example, this time from an industry association, Tech Manitoba has a beautiful directory that is that can be filtered by competencies. So that can also give you a great idea of who is operating in the tech ecosystem in Manitoba. Now, this one is a bit of a nostalgic example. You can go to your local public library and have a look at this business to business sales and marketing directory, which contains a lot of Manitoba businesses organized by industry. And now, as you see, this is a reference item, so not meant to be checked out, but you can go to the library and have a look at it. Okay, so now that we understand target customers and competitors, let's talk about trends. So, what is happening in your industry? Where is your industry headed? There are so many questions to ask yourself for this part of your research. And a few examples can be how is the demand for your product or service evolving? Which sectors of your industry are growing? which changes are impacting your industry and your target customers. It can be many types, for example, technological, legal, regulatory, or changing consumer behaviors. You will find this information in a lot of kind of the classic resources, industry reports, surveys, PowerPoint presentations that have been published, articles, but there are also um, many different forms out there. So this information can come in many different forms now. You can also find what you need in the form of webinars, podcasts, blogs, or newsletters. And one resource I want to highlight here is, in fact, trade shows and conferences. If you know of a large trade show within your industry that is happening in Canada, have a look at their website because they might publish resources like clips from speaker sessions or infographics or presentations from previous sessions. That kind of information can help you on your way too. Here's an example of some very interesting market information that comes in the form of webinars. Travel Manitoba has some industry outlooks for the tourism industry. So if you are looking to start a new business that has to do with tourism, you'll definitely want to have a look at this. You can also find a variety of consumer trend reports. This is an example of a consumer trend report by a specific industry, in this case, cannabis, by Deloitte Canada. They will have an amazing report with a lot of statistics that explain the trends within cannabis consumption. And consumer trend reports can also be cross industry. For example, PwC Canada um, conducts surveys among consumers. And this is one example of a published resource, What Canadian Consumers Want, a retailer's guide to deciphering shoppers' shifting habits. So I imagine that a lot of people on the call will want to know what Canadian consumers want. So resources like this are very useful, very practical, especially if they are interactive, like you see here with a place where you can toggle between different age categories. So definitely a great resource to check out if you are selling to consumers. A lot of consumer trend reports will be on the national level, but you can find some local resources as well, most likely offered by associations or not for profits. So, for example, the Manitoba Chambers of Commerce, they do regular Manitoba Pulse surveys. And this is an example of a report they published on consumer perspectives on supporting local businesses. So we've seen that there are a lot of resources, a lot of questions that you will be asking yourself. And of course, if you are an entrepreneur, you are busy. So who is out there that can help you with your research? That would be our amazing colleagues at the World Trade Center Winnipeg. Our business advisors, Eric and Paul, are happy to help out with your research requests. And what can we offer? We know our way around the types of resources that I presented in this webinar. But apart from that, we also have access to some private databases, and we can provide industry reports with information on industry performance and industry trends and outlooks. We can provide industry statistics, for example, on revenues, production, exports. We can provide very detailed demographic statistics. We can look at Manitoba or Winnipeg or even a custom region of your choosing within Canada and look at who lives there and give you customized reports of the demographic characteristics of the consumers in that area. And we could even look at a specific point on the map and then define a region within 5 minutes or 10 minutes driving distance, for example. We can help you out as well with company lists. That can be lists of potential customers if you sell to businesses, or lists of potential competitors within Canada or even abroad. And our business advisors are also happy to help with other questions you might have. For example, around business structures, how to register a business, and what permits and regulations to keep in mind. If you would like to submit a market research request, the easiest way to do that is to go to our website and fill out the market research request form. This is a small part of the form. Essentially, you will fill out a short form with what exactly you are looking for. And then within 48 hours, one of our business advisors will get back to you to discuss your request. So if after viewing this webinar, you are excited to get started on your research and to start working on your business plan, a good next step would be our business planning program. So, this program helps you to create a solid business plan in 7 half-day sessions led by a team of experts. The next intake will be in February with the dates to be confirmed very soon. So, stay tuned for that.